Hi, I'm Gail Manchin. Charleston, West Virginia may not be a city known for being the birthplace of many movements, but this year, from right here at the Governor's Mansion, we're helping the Safe America Foundation launch a project that will make America better prepared for any emergency we face anywhere in the country. As honorary spokesperson, I'm working with business leaders to help launch a program called 9/11 Drill Down for Safety, a campaign to have all Americans practice what they would do in the aftermath of any natural or man-made disaster.
Whether you're a business leader or government administrator, or someone who is in church or nonprofit work, you have a vested interest in your community's ability to bounce back from a disaster. I hope the next 30 minutes give you a better understanding of what we're doing and what you can do to help.
Thank you for watching.
New York on a quiet morning. It could just as easily be Philadelphia, Chicago, Atlanta, Charleston, West Virginia, or any of a dozen other cities. For emergency managers charged with protecting municipalities, the issue they face every 24 hours is how to keep an area safe and secure from natural threats like floods, tornadoes, or earthquakes, or being ready to handle the act of a madman.
Community preparedness isn't as much as making sure that your firemen are trained and your medics are trained and all that. We need to reevaluate community preparedness to make sure our community is trained so that people are more self-sufficient. Not that they shouldn't call the emergency services for help, but if there's a delay, they can augment that delay and save lives. When an emergency happens in a community, you have emergency responders going to that emergency. But what they don't realize then is that with those resources expended at that emergency, that if an emergency happens with them in themselves, that the resources will be coming from outside the area, will be delayed, may not be able to get there, and that we really need to educate them on community preparedness, being prepared to help themselves.
This September marks the 9th anniversary of 9/11. For many people, it will be a sobering reminder of what can happen. But this year, others will focus on making it a call to action. Through a project known as 9/11 Drill Down for Safety, more than 1 million Americans from coast to coast will be working on practicing what would immediately be done by them after a disaster occurs. These rehearsals won't be just by professionals whose job it is to be ready. It will also be done by everyday people, moms, dads, and even their kids.
Certainly, I think we're better prepared. A lot of people put in a lot of effort full-time to try to make us more prepared for these things. But having said that, there's a lot of work to do. The kinds of threats we're faced with, the variety of those threats, the nature of those threats in terms of what might be coming our way are such that you have to be ever vigilant, and you have to work together with all the different communities that own a piece of this problem. Government has a responsibility for sure, and they need to be doing everything they can. But at the end of the day, you have a certain responsibility individually and for your family to be prepared and know what to do when something happens and have a plan and work that plan, because you know, government can only do so much, and that's not really a criticism. It's an acknowledgement of the limits of their control and their authority and their ability to protect you as an individual. So everyone has to do their part, and I think this Safe America program is really going to be helpful for that.
The Safe America Foundation is behind this effort, organizing both public and private sectors, as well as dozens of nonprofit organizations. Thanks to partners such as the All Hazards Consortium and NEDRICS, dozens of companies along the eastern seaboard will be invited to participate and take the idea of practicing how to handle an emergency to the next level.
When you read stuff like what happened in the Gulf Coast, they did a survey prior to Katrina and after Katrina, and the percentage of families that got prepared because of that huge disaster was very small, a very small increase. So if Katrina can't reach them, how can we? That's my biggest thing. That's what I think we should concentrate as a country, is how we all take responsibility for ourselves and not rely on government. I do have hopes that will make a difference, and I think that you're targeting kind of the right population of America that will reach down and up.
Training businesses to help employees take this home is one of the lessons UPS offered in 2009. Through its leadership, other companies, large and small, will once again be given a chance to learn how to drill in simple ways, while also being offered tips to share that keep employees' families safe in times of stress.
At UPS, we understand the value of preparedness in both our business and with our people. That's why this year UPS is going to support Drill Down for Safety. It's a great program. It's simple for UPS to be involved in. We're going to conduct drills this September around the country, and we're also going to involve our people where they can conduct drills with their family members. So this year, join us, join UPS and other UPSers, and be involved.
Coming up next, a look at what you can do this September and how youth will be engaged in the campaign for American disaster readiness.
We're doing our part.
A safe America is a strong America.
Stronger America.
A safe America is everybody's business.
It's for our country.
I'm glad I could help. You can volunteer.
You can do your part.
You can serve.
We are strong and we are ready to help.
This September 11th, do something to help America. Drill down for safety.
Most people think families will largely need to depend on first responders in any emergency. But this runs counter to what the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, is saying. As stated by Administrator Craig Fugate, the goal of FEMA is to have grassroots Americans be able to look out for themselves immediately after any emergency. Nowhere is this more important than with the more than 100 million American youths. This is one reason Safe America is focused this year on working with the National PTA, another group such as the Health Occupation Students of America, or HOSA, to see to it that all youth are involved in drilling. Through an emphasis on texting drills, young people will have a key role this year. They will be able to help their families practice how they will communicate if a disaster strikes, by using a keypad to send an SMS message versus relying on getting a voice call out.
I think the connection with Safe America allows two things. One, it allows young people to get involved in preparedness efforts. Okay, first understand what preparedness means, and then get involved in that through a simple text drill on their cell phone. Well, you know, that's all they do is text. So it's a convenient medium for them, and they teach their parents at the same time, which is great. And I think what it can do, if it's over time, is help people understand that that's the last mile of preparedness, by connecting to that generation and those youngsters and so forth through a simple drill, is connecting preparedness at the federal, state level to the school, to the home, to the residents, to the wives and kids.
They will encourage their parents to do what's necessary, and when a child comes to a parent and says, I'd really like to get involved in this, it's very hard for the parent not to, because it makes so much sense. So I think getting children interested in this preparedness, they're also much more facile with the new technology. I know for the last drill down, I signed up for Twitter for myself and my wife and my daughter, and my daughter took right to it. My wife was a little uncomfortable at first, but you know, you got to do this several times. But the children, they really take to it very quickly.
Last year, drill down occurred in over a dozen states. In California, one of the highlights was in San Diego, where a texting drill occurred at 16 high schools. In this area high school drill, students were encouraged to text their parents and make sure their parents knew how to text them in any emergency. This feature will be repeated in 2010 with support from the Motorola Foundation and Verizon.